when you don't feel ready to do it, when you don't feel ready to create it, you make it stop and you come back to it when you are ready. So it's like some sort of regimen, but also just allowing yourself to be like, well, I actually make make the rules here.
Olivia Dear, formerly Olivia Millershing, captivates audiences with her celestial voice, wrapping them in a gossamer blend of modern pop and folk songwriting. Hailing from Detroit, Dear has won 2 John Lennon Songwriting Awards, the Great American Song Contest, and could recently be heard singing at the 2018 Olympics for the U.S. ice dancers Madison Chock and Emmy Bates. Averaging 150 plus shows annually spanning from Los Angeles to London, living rooms to concert halls, Dear is no stranger to touring. Over the past year, backed by Tidal streaming services, Olivia Dear is turning all of her creative and emotional efforts towards this new music, new name, and new statement. You can hear her live at the Saginaw Art Museum during our Museum Tunes concert series on August 5th, 2025. Let's listen in. Olivia, thank you so much for joining us here on the Temple Arts podcast. We are looking forward to your set at the Saginaw Art Museum and Gardens for our Museum Tunes concert series on August 5th. Just going to be a fantastic evening. I think that your music is just exceptionally suited for our space here. So we're looking forward to having you and hearing your music. I want to launch right in. For those who are unfamiliar with your music, what kinds of words would you use to describe your songwriting and style?
I think that the word that I always come back to is hopeful, just because that's the kind of the way I was raised, and that's kind of the person that I am. I'm just like a very optimistic person, even in like a more negative setting or in a relationship or whatever I'm seeing the world. I always come back to like there's this flip side of hope and positivity that you can get out of just about anything. And so that's what I try to find like throughout my music. And I think a while ago we asked AI to describe my music and they used that word. So I was like, okay, we're doing well.
That's sort of interesting. When you're writing a song, is there a specific process that you go through? Does the music come first, or the words come first, or is it a combination? I'd love to hear more about that process for you individually. I know different artists do it differently, and just a little curious about that.
For me, Um, I'm more of like I'm not very quick on my feet, I would say. I'm just one of those people who I need to think it through before I can react, before I can say exactly what I want to say, do what I want to do. So with songwriting, it's almost like just a constant viewing other people, listening to other people. And I'll probably do it right now. Like I write down something that you say, whether it's a word or even the way that somebody moves. Like something catches my eye, and then I write it down in my phone on a notepad or whatever, and then it could be a year from now, it could be 2 hours from now. Typically, those things inspire a whole song, and it's music and lyrics at the same time. But it's like kind of stream of consciousness coming up with both of them and then refining it from there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost as though it sounds like you are compiling, you're compiling all this information
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then gives you a reference point. Do you think that would be an
Yeah,
accurate
kind
thing?
of. Yeah, I mean, I just like I'm so inspired by like so many different artists, and I just don't think like anything comes from nothing. So we're all like pulling from things around us or other artists and things like that. And that's kind of what I do. Like I pull from all these people that I meet and all these things that I see, and then I just try to make it something interesting enough to write a song about, but it's worked for me. I just think like everyone I meet is so different, and the way that we see the world is so different. And so yeah, I think it's all worth writing songs about, but it's just a matter of how you word it, and yeah.
With that level of interest in the world and trying to refine that or deciding what's something that you want to pursue further, are there still some practices of discipline that you have in your songwriting? Like, I'm gonna I'm gonna work on a song every day for for 10 minutes or 20 minutes or something like that? Or do you find that your practice of songwriting happens more in fits and starts?
Mine has changed over time. It used to be more of like just do it whenever I want, and I wanted to do it all the time. And then when it became a job, but it's still an art, but it was a job, I've had to force myself to sit down and mainly like singing, just finding joy in singing because it sounds stupid, but when you're writing, you sort of just do it and but you don't always enjoy it. You don't always do the things that you would sound best on. So the main thing is just like putting time aside to just be musical every day. And then typically the songs just come out during those times. Or it's sometimes it's starting something and then when you don't feel ready to do it, we don't feel ready to create it, you make it stop and you come back to it when you are ready. So it's like some sort of regimen, but also just allowing yourself to be like, well, I actually make the rules here.
Yeah, it's interesting too to think about, how the written word is different than a spoken word, which is different than words that are sung too, and
Yeah.
the need to try and work out all those elements as you're doing your craft.
Yeah, you have to kind of treat yourself like a baby to some extent. Like we're all making things constantly, but when it's like your job is something creative, you do have to have that discipline. You always have to have that like level of managing yourself because it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it when inspiration strikes. Yeah, but you also just have to do it sometimes. Like just do it. Yeah. So.
I think it's interesting, many songwriters um, have a particular vulnerability that they present when they're writing songs in a way that maybe other art forms don't have or yeah, don't express in the same way. And I'm wondering if that's something that you consider as you decide what songs to pursue, how much is coming from a place of person, and how much you decide to edit out or
Mhm.
decide to hold on for yourself or modify. Uh, is that something you can comment on?
Yeah, I think when I started writing music and like performing it when I was really young. I was 14, 13 or 14. And like, obviously the level of like seriousness and I mean, I was being honest, but it was honest about the things that a 13-year-old or 14-year-old were living. So in that case, I was just sharing everything that I wrote. And there was some editing and there was some like, this isn't good enough. But I was just kind of like, I wrote this song, I'm proud of it, and I put it out. And I really love that that of kids. Like I made this thing and it is. And that's so cool. But like as I've gotten older, I've definitely gotten more private, specifically with like the people in my life, with not even my thoughts about things, but just the things that I have been going through. And like I think we just do that as people, but like music is a unifier. So it makes people like me, when I listen to a song that's coming from a really honest place and it's something personal, I don't even always know what it's about for that artist particularly, but it's something that for some reason I can grasp onto and so I've like kind of wrestled with, oh, I don't really want to share that much about my personal life, especially as an independent artist. I'm like, who cares? But I think it is important. And so I'm kind of coming into this like just say what you want to say and be honest and people are probably gonna like it and some people aren't, but you just gotta make what you want to make. So,
I imagine some some temptation or uh, measurement that goes into, well, I like it, but will other people like it? Especially when
hmm
you're doing it as a more of a career track, and the stakes are a little bit different, or the audience is a little bit different, or you have a fan base that has an expectation of what you may make or not make.
Yeah. And I mean, I've been kind of fortunate too that as much as I've like I mean, a lot of my career has just been making money off of my original music, and that's awesome. But I also get the chance to do like private events and things like that that are, 50% covers, 50% originals. And that's the sort of stuff that's just like grows you as a performer. And I think like whether or not you even realize it, the more time you do something, the more you study it, the better you get. It's like obvious. And so I've like been studying some of my favorite songs just by performing them over and over for people. And so then I wonder like how much of that seeps into my own music and making me comfortable performing my own sort of thing too. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of performing, you've played a lot of shows, a lot of places uh, over the past several years. Can you describe what that's like to play out as much as you have in as many spaces as you have, and uh, the experience that that's provided for you?
Yeah, I mean it's the coolest thing ever. It's like played in all but I think 4 states. I mean, it's just like it's my favorite thing in the world is to play live because I feel like with our settings, even in the bigger rooms where I've opened for other artists, it's like there's always this dialogue. You have to like control what you're doing on stage, obviously, but what I like about what I do is like I like to really share where I was coming from with the song, with even my bandmates. I just think like making it that personal allows other people then want to be personal with you. And so like the human connection aspect is like it fuels all of us, even if we're more introverted. And so performing live has just been that nonstop. And through the years, I've had like one or two booking agents and those have been great because I have trouble with being like, I need my check at the end of the night, and they're good at that part of things. But now I've gone back to just booking myself and booking my own like smaller tours and the house concerts and even the local events and things like that. So I just love it, and you never know what you're gonna get. I mean, I've played like people's living rooms to 10 of their friends, and I've played, Fox Theater to thousands of people, and I've played one time I played a nudist event, and I didn't know it was a nudist event until I got on stage. So it's just like you never know what you're gonna get, and sometimes you do know, but a lot of times you don't, and you just go and you just do what you do, and you hope people like it. So I love it. I really do.
Yeah, can you maybe tell a little bit of a story or describe a little bit more about one of those experiences? Maybe not the nudist colony.
Yeah, I won't talk about that one. That one's a dark time for me to go into. Yeah, let me think. Well, one particular one. I have some friends that I've met through playing shows. I was opening for a young man named Sawyer Fredericks who won The Voice when he was 15. He is incredible, and I met him just I always say like if you say yes to something, like not obviously not everything, but it gives you more of an opportunity, a foot in the door for another opportunity, for another opportunity. And so I met him through one of those. I said yes to a gig. He was there. He took me on tour with him. So through the years I was touring for him and this multiple fans of his wanted then to host me at their house for house concerts whenever I was touring. So I met this family that way. Long story short, long story long. They live out in California, and they hosted us. I want to say it was 2017 or 2018, in their home for a huge house concert. But it was basically a venue because it was so beautiful, and they did such an amazing job hosting it. And now they've become basically like a second family to me, and I talk to them all the time, and they're some of my favorite people. And it's just like I. I don't like know why these people were drawn to me or why they allowed me in their home, but I'm just like so fortunate that now I've gotten the opportunity, still get the opportunity to go back there and play and to see my friends. And so that's the kind of thing that it does create, really like that kind of connection. So,
Yeah, well, that sounds fantastic. It's like one thing leads to the next thing, and
hmm
that continues on
Yep.
indefinitely, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's something my mom was so she didn't like push that on me. It's just the way that she lives her life is like, opportunity is there, and if you take it, you do your best with it, and then another opportunity comes about. And that's just how she's lived her life, and I feel like it's given her this like beautiful world and these wonderful friends and she ran a really beautiful business and like I was just watching her do that and I realized like I don't have to overthink things. If it sounds good, go for it, do your best. And that's kind of the music career now that I've tried to like make, and it's worked out. So,
Yeah. In terms of future aspirations, do you have like a dream gig that or artist that you would want to work with um, somewhere in the future?
oh gosh, there are quite a few. I um I for a while thought that I was just going to go into songwriting for other people. And I did that for a while. Through that, I've just been a lot more collaborative with songwriting, which I never used to do. I just wasn't really as much of a thing in the Michigan music community. It seemed like we were all kind of like islands. But um, but there are like quite a few songwriters, folk songwriters that I just love and that like dream collaborations of singing even. I mean, I'm like, who can I say? I mean, there's just a couple of like wonderful singer-songwriters. Obviously, like my way back in the day would have been Carole King, but but I don't think that that's really in the picture anymore. But there's just so many that modern day and older that I like look up to, and that if I ever got the chance to sing with them, even or write with them, it would just be the coolest thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Olivia, thank you so much for joining us here on the podcast. We are going to certainly look forward to your show here at the Saginaw Art Museum and Gardens on August 5th. It's been a real special thing to hear a little bit of your background and the style that you bring to your music. And I'm sure that our guests are in for a treat when you perform out in our gardens here.
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's like the perfect setting to hear some music in the summertime garden.
Thank you for listening to the Temple Arts Podcast. Please consider subscribing to the podcast and making a donation to the arts through saginawartmuseum.org or templetheater.com. This will allow us to continue to bring enriching program to Saginaw and beyond.